The world woke up to a bloodbath today. Markets were reeling, Asian markets were particularly hit, and Dow Jones futures was in a free fall. All because Donald Trump signed a reciprocal tariff policy that's never seen before. 185 countries and territories were targeted. So why is one major country off the list? Is Trump trying to send a political message? And what does this tell us about the future of trade? I'm Ananya Dutta. You're watching Grey Zone. Donald Trump started speaking on what he dubbed as Liberation Day at 5:30 p.m. in Washington. It was 1:30 in the morning in the UK, 2:30 a.m. in South Africa, and 3 a.m. in India, but all were up and about listening to his speech. Trump set a 10% baseline tariff across the board, and then further steep tariffs on specific countries. Trump came armed with huge cardboards revealing the new tariffs. 34% on China, 20% on the European Union, 46% on Vietnam, 32% on Taiwan, 24% on Japan, and 26% on India. But Trump did not keep his promise of targeting every single country. There are 185 countries on the list, as I told you, but you quickly notice that one major country is missing. That's Russia.
None of our companies are allowed to go into other countries. And I say that friend and foe, and in many cases, the friend is worse than the foe in terms of trade.
Trump says sometimes friends are worse than foes, and that's the only possible explanation for leaving out Russia, Belarus, North Korea, and Cuba. But we have to ask, is politics at play here? Let's look at Russia closely. The moment we think about Moscow and Washington, we don't think about trade. We think about sanctions. And while sanctions are high, it's not like there is zero trade. The value of US-Russia trade used to be $35 billion till 2021. But after the latter's invasion of Ukraine and more sanctions came into the picture, the trade plummeted to $3.5 billion as of last year. So why was Russia exempted? White House press secretary told Axios that US sanctions already preclude any meaningful trade. If $3.5 billion isn't meaningful trade, then why did countries like Mauritius or Brunei make it to Trump's tariffs list? When you put trade from both these countries together, that's less than Russia's. Even remote island territories that most of us wouldn't even have heard of, like Tokelau in the South Pacific and Svalbard in the Arctic Circle, have all been slapped with tariffs. And we have to take into account how much the US has changed its stance on the war in Ukraine. So while Russia was left out, war-torn Ukraine was included in the list and will have to pay the base tariff of 10%. Just last week, Trump slammed countries buying oil from Russia, but Russia itself has been spared. So it's not sitting well with many. It also seems like Kiev is looking at the changing dynamics very closely. Former Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba had an unpopular opinion. He said, and I'm quoting from it, Trump believes he needs Russia. He doesn't need Ukraine. It's as simple as that. It's the worldview he has. I don't think that Trump is doing it because he's an agent of Russia. He sincerely believes in a worldview that is different from ours. So this makes us wonder, Trump's new tariff policy isn't just about economics. It's a political statement. While we talk about a new trade war where friends like Canada and Europe are furious and foes like China and Iran are waiting for the new world order, should we also be talking about a different kind of war where Russia and the US are friends? That's the trillion-dollar question.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
to biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.